We hear about them all the time. Ikora stands as a constant reminder, and in case we forget, Eris isn't too far off in the distance. The Hidden, one of the most mysterious groups of guardians that we know about, acting on orders from Ikora, or seemingly carrying out whatever jobs they see fit that act with good intention, to the tower. Hey everybody, it's your buddy Beard Grizzly. Today we're talking about one person in particular, but let's revisit the Hidden. Really, we know of two members, Ikora and Eris. I've made accusations that Eva Levante may be another one of their ranks, but there's evidence that suggests a certain wilderness hunter may also be a part of Ikora's band of shadow lovers, which is funny considering he likes to use Golden Gun. Sticking out like a sore thumb there, Hunter Bro. Anyway, a little background on Shin Malfure, though if you're looking into Destiny lore, this is a story I would highly recommend reading over. It has a very vengeful Wild West vibe to it, which is pretty awesome. Shin Malfure was somewhat raised by, or at least protected by, the Hunter Guardian, Jaren Ward, the original wielder of the last word? Anybody? Dredgen Yor either hunting down Jared or looking to scrap whatever settlements outside the city he could, or just picking a fight because he's a jerkface that likes goth music, burned the village of Palamon to the ground, leaving all for dead. This left Shin Malfure without a home or a family, and Jared didn't want to leave him without one. This is the spoilers part, so if you haven't heard the story of the last word in Thorn, I suggest you take the time to read over the cards for both weapons. Thorn, by the by, was used by Dredgen Yor. Trust me, it's a good read for all of 10 minutes. Eventually, Jaren tracks down Yor, but in the end, Jaren is shot dead on the spot. Jaren's ghost, in the only instance we have ever heard this happening, picks up the last word with Yor's behest and goes to Shin Malfure. Yor promises he'll kill Shin and anyone else that might be left, but the ghost either knows this was meant to happen, or Jaren told the ghost, if I die, make sure the kid is safe. Long story short, Shin Malfure is now the proud owner of a 6-shooter, a ghost, and some awesome guardian powers. He shoots Yor down at the Battle of Dwindler's Ridge with the Golden Gun, and then once with a trigger pull from Jaren's weapon. We don't know what happens with Thorn after this battle. We don't know what happens to the original last word. We don't know what happens to Shin Malfure. But there are some hints. Let's fast forward because the tale of last word happened sometime before our Guardian, or at least it might have. I don't know, Destiny's timeline isn't a simple calculated thing. I miss Doc Brown telling me about how alternate dimensions work. That makes more sense most times. Current day Destiny. There's a group of guardians that can recreate Thorn, seemingly using the same methods that Dredgen Yor did, possibly the same ones we used in Year 1 to recreate the gun as well. This group is called the Shadows of Yor, and Ikora and Shax are seen discussing some information through the Grimoire cards underneath the Crucible Arenas tab, which is where all this information is found. As is pointed out with the top portion here, Ikora would be marked U1 and Shax would be marked U2. More on dissecting this code a bit later. I'm assuming you're aware of the events on Mars. The results from Line Watch? Yes, it may be starting again. Not saying it is, but we need to keep our eye on any who seek to retrace Yor's path. Agreed, but also and his friends seem to have contained what Yor could not. A dangerous assumption. The Thorn's pestilence is becoming commonplace. There have been attempts to simulate Thorn in the past, much like how our Guardian did in Year 1 of Destiny, but ours was seemingly the only attempt that worked, or at least on record. We also had the benefits of the tower's knowledge behind us, and it very well could be the reason Ikora and Shax are concerned, but not to the point of stopping it right off the bat. Regardless, the Thorn is back, and it seems there are multiples of them from the likes of Dredgen Bane and Vale. But let's take this a step further. Being that Ikora is involved, this also means the other Hidden may be involved as well. And now for the most damning piece of evidence. Widow's Court. I'm telling you this now because you don't seem to be taking it seriously. We are aware of and share your concerns and are monitoring. It could be you're too close to the situation to get a clear, full view. Too close? I've seen the vids from Widow's Court. They're playing with death. So, hold it. Let's go higher up in the card. Type, post-match report. Parties. 2 means there are 2 talking. 1 Guardian type, class Hunter, U1. 1 Guardian type, class Warlock, Vanguard, Designate, means Ikora. Associations. Crucible, European Dead Zone, Fallen, Lord Shax, Malfur Shin, Ray Ikora. Number 2. Thorn, Widow's Court. There are a slew of other cards that read this exact way. The rest of the Crucible cards, for instance, have these exact markings and tend to showcase who is involved in the speech below, or relations to those in the cards below. Shin is a related category in a few other cards, namely in the Thorn and Last Word cards, but these are for obvious reasons. Meanwhile, Dahlia 9940, Archite 9940, technicians for the Crucible, and other members of the Tower are all referenced in these cards as people that could be talking in them. They also make special mention in the Widow's Court card to say Shin Malfur, not some random hunter. The way this hunter talks, I also don't get the feeling this could be Eris, regardless of her involvement in Hive-related weapons, and Ikora specifically states that this individual is too close to the situation. Being that these cards generally refer to either the Shadow of Yore or the escapades of Dahlia 9940, we're left to assume this is indeed referring to the use of Thorn by the new Dredgens, and the one most concerned about it, as stated right here, is Shin Malfur. And sadly that's it. That's all we know about Shin, except he's alive to this day, seemingly running hidden missions for Ikora, or trying to remain mostly out of sight, being that he's given a very different status as a Guardian because he inherited the ghost of Jaren Ward. Or he could be an experiment and Ikora really likes to keep a close eye on him. Who knows? I could speculate and say he's the reason we have the First Curse and Last Word handguns on file and can replicate them, but there's no evidence to support it. What do you guys think? Is Shin alive and well? What did happen to the original Thorn if this is the case? Or did we find what was left in it in year 1 and simply reconstructed it? Personally, I'd love to see us romp around in the wilderness with Shin, as I consider him one of the lore badasses of Destiny. Leave your comments below with your thoughts and ideas on this or other topics. If you're not quite sure what to say, you can at least leave the phrase, Malfur lives, in a comment below. Don't forget to like, dislike, or subscribe for more from me, and share this to help out the channel if you so choose to. I've been Beard Grizzly, keep your guns greased up and your lights strong, Guardians, and I'll see you next space time.